Alright, I hope you guys are excited for this. Today we're going to be comparing all of the different cloth diaper training pants that I have been trying out the last few months on little Eren. So we're going to talk about what are my favorites, what are my least favorites, things that I like and dislike about each of these. So I do have individual reviews on all of these, and I will leave those linked down below in my cloth diaper training pants playlist for you guys if you're interested in seeing more about them individually. But for now, we're just going to talk about them all together. So let's hop in. All right, where do we want to start? I think the way I want to do this is to start with stuff that's going to work best for the beginning of potty training and work toward the end of potty training, if that makes sense. So let's start off with the flip cover set thing. So this is the flip set. It comes with removable inserts and like a shell that you can reuse. So the reason I think that this is good for the early days of potty training is because it's pretty much just like a cloth diaper. You have like an all-in-two system or something. You have the little inserts in there that you can, you know, like Velcro out and then continue using the cover until it gets pooed on or whatever. I just find that they're a little bit stiff. It's not really like the softest, most comfortable little setup. It doesn't really remind me of underpants. All of these you can pull up and down like underpants, which is, you know, the good part about having training pants is being able to move them up and down on kiddos so they can actually go potty and feel like a big boy, right? So these I think are the most similar to a regular cloth diaper, and that's why I think they are a good step, like a first step out of cloth diapers working towards regular underpants. Next, I have two different training pants that are also similar to diapers. This is the Grovia My Choice and the Buttons Trainer. Let's talk about Grovia first. These are both pocket style training pants. The Grovia ones, at least I did. I had to order larger size panels to go on them, and it is nice that you can order larger size panels, but the fact that the original panels are like way too tight on my 30-pound toddler, who I think is like a pretty average size, not too big or anything. That kind of bugged me that I automatically had to order bigger size panels, just FYI. I also just find the fit of this weird. It's just like very boxy, and it doesn't like curve to their body or anything. It just looks strange. Like you can see like Eren's butt cheek just kind of like hangs out on each side because it's just like an awkward little fit. But that's just my own little pet peeves about this guy. If you're looking for a pocket style training pants setup, I would totally recommend the Buttons over the Grovia. So the Buttons one, I just really dig it. I think it's really nice. It does have a lot of adjustments on the wings and on the rise as well. You gotta watch my full review on this guy. I might think that this is my favorite. This and another little guy we're going to talk about a little later are maybe tied for my favorites. And there are things that I like and dislike about all of these. There's nothing that's absolutely perfect, but yeah, so there's that. Next, I have the Nicki's Diapers Overnight Diaper, and this is a diaper that I enjoy, but there are a lot of things that I don't like about it. It is a pocket style, but the pocket is like sideways, and it comes with this nice little flat that you can stuff in there. The Buttons and the Grovia don't come with inserts, but they have a little bit of absorbency built in, but they don't come with like their own inserts. You have to throw something else in there. For this Nicki's one, you do actually have a flat that comes with it, and you have to stuff it in there all sideways like, and it's just like awkward and weird, and it's like it's really tight up here at the front. I don't even want to mess with it. Anyway, it's like super low rise on the front of baby, which is also kind of annoying, especially when I have boys and I don't, the pee is more concentrated in the front anyway. It just kind of like makes me worried that it's so low rise. I don't want any accidents to happen, like especially if it's an overnight diaper and they're going to be like sleeping on their belly or something. I don't want any issues with that. We haven't had any issues, but I'm just saying the low rise-ness of this kind of bugs me. But overall, I do really like it. It does have natural fiber. I mean, not natural fiber. It has both microfiber and natural fiber. Like this is bamboo in the back part, but it has microfiber in the front part, and then the insert itself is bamboo, so it has a little mixture of everything. And my opinion about microfiber in training pants is not as harsh as my opinion about microfiber in regular diapers. When you're using a regular diaper on your baby, you're using it every day for like 2 or 3 years, and to have microfiber you know, being exposed like that over 2 or 3 years time, you could end up with some stink issues or some problems down the line. If you're just having a little bit of microfiber in your training pants that you're only going to be using for a few months, I don't see it as that big of a deal. Next in our steps toward, you know, like the underpants style of training pants, I have these are the Best Bottom trainers, and they go with the Best Bottom inserts, which are snap-in inserts. So if I turn this guy totally out, it has a little insert that snaps in the front and snaps in the back. So you could reuse any inserts that you were using for regular diapers inside of these training pants, which is kind of nice. But I have the bamboo ones, and they're just very flimsy and flexible, and so it doesn't always stay up quite well inside of here. Like, you kind of have to pull the top part up and pull the back part up so it's not like all squished and scrunched around inside of here. So that does kind of suck. But if you buy the inserts that actually go with these, I hear that they are stiffer, so they should stand up on their own. Now the thing about this is that it feels nice and cloth-like. It feels more like underpants would, but it still has that waterproof layer inside. So they do feel more like underwear on the outside, which makes kiddo happy, but you have the waterproofness in there, which makes mommy happy. So this is our first little set that does not have snaps on the sides. All of the rest that we have talked about so far have snaps on the sides. So if there is a poo incident, you can lay kiddo down, unsnap it, deal with the poo incident, and not have to shimmy these down their legs and hope that they don't step in their poo once you get it to the bottom. So that's one thing. You want to wait until kiddo is not having poo accidents anymore before you start trying to use these Best Bottoms. So lastly, I have two guys that are kind of similar, and yet I like them totally differently. Like, I super duper love this guy, and I'm not really that big of a fan of this guy. So let's talk about it. This is the Imagine New and Improved training pants. These are the Thirsties training pants, and the Thirsties ones are pretty much like traditional kind of underwear with extra padding in there for the absorbency, and they also have a waterproof layer inside. They don't have the snaps on the sides like I just talked about with the Best Bottom. It is all sewn together in here. There's no like flaps or any inserts that you need to worry about. It's all sewn together just like a regular old pair of, you know, like underwear or extra padded underwear, you know, like basic training pants you might buy at Walmart or whatever. So these guys are kind of just like extra absorbent underwear, but they're kind of pricey. That's really my biggest issue with them, and they don't have the snaps. I mean, I like to have the snaps. It just makes me feel more secure. It makes me have a little bit of peace of mind knowing that if there is a poo accident, I don't have to worry about shimmying these down kiddo's legs. So that's why I really like these Imagine ones. They're kind of just like the Thirsties. You know, they have pretty much the same amount of absorbency, the same thickness here as far as the sewn in, you know, absorbency is concerned. There's no flaps, no pockets, nothing going on, just regular old absorbency layers in here. Waterproof on the outside, but it has the snaps, which makes it so much easier and makes you feel so much better if kiddo's still working on the poo potty training side of things. You have the snaps to save you guys. So I really do like these Imagine ones. They were my favorite until I discovered the Buttons one. And the reason I really liked these is that they feel more like regular underpants. You know, like they're not super bulky or anything crazy like, you know, like these Nickies or even the Grovia, stuff like that. I just felt like they were kind of more like traditional underpants, you know, just like extra padded underpants, but they had the snaps on the side, and that's what I super duper love about them. The reason Buttons won out over Imagine is just because they're more waterproof. The Imagine ones, let me show you guys. So on the, let's see, on the leg holes here, this is just a regular old cotton or whatever. This is not waterproof on the actual legs. So if kiddo has a medium or a heavy accident, potty accident, this totally gets wet. And even sometimes I would get on the front of the diaper or training pants, it would get wet as well. So they're not as waterproof as these Buttons ones. This Buttons diaper is pretty much just like a diaper, but it's actually extra stretchy so you can get it up and down, which is something that I super love about it. I think it's a really good, I think this is like a really good one that you can do, you know, when you're starting to potty train, when you're just starting to get out of diapers. It still reminds you a lot of a diaper, but it's flexible enough and easy enough to pull up and down that it could totally work when kiddos already like pulling their pants up and down. The only thing that I think would be the issue with this is that when kiddos start to think like, this feels like a diaper, this looks like a diaper, so it's okay for me to potty in it. If some kiddos need to have something that feels more like underwear to them or looks more like underwear to them, I would probably go with the Imagine ones just because they're not quite like a diaper look or feel. They're definitely different than your traditional, you know, like PUL covered waterproof diaper setup. So let's talk about ones that I really don't like. The Grovia one is definitely on that list. I just don't like the fit of it. It's a little bit pricey, especially once you have to buy the extra panels for my regular average sized kiddo. It just totally bugs me. I feel like when you're trying to potty train your kiddo, they're probably going to be a little bit older. They're not going to be like this teeny tiny little thing. So you probably want, you know, some extra room in your potty training pants, you know? So the Grovia ones, definitely not a favorite. Not really a fan of the Best Bottom because it doesn't have snaps, and it really doesn't, you know, if you're buying it thinking that you can use your Best Bottom inserts that you were using in the diapers before, it might not work depending on which inserts you were using before. So although I like the idea of being able to use your inserts that you were using while baby was just in diapers in your training pants, it might not work as easily as it sounds because some of the inserts, like my bamboo ones, are just so flimsy and flexible. It's just hard to get them to like stay put in this guy. So not a big fan of the Best Bottoms either. I'm also not really a fan of the Thirsties just because I feel like we have better options here. Once again, the no snaps thing, you know that bugs me. But I just feel like they're a little overpriced for what they are. So, I mean, they're not bad, of course, but it's just not something that I would buy more of, not something that I would really like add to my like things you need when you're potty training kind of list or anything. So, Thirsties are kind of like whatevs. Now, I do feel kind of on the fence about the flip system. It's similar to a cloth diaper. It would be a good step right out of cloth diapers as your first step toward potty training, just because it's kind of like a cloth diaper, but it's just stretchy enough to pull up and down. But you have to use the inserts that come with it because they have like the Velcro here, the hook and loop here in this particular spot, and I don't know of any other inserts that have it in that spot that would match up, you know. It is just kind of stiff. It's just not, I mean, I understand why it's stiff so that it sits up better, you know, better than the Best Bottoms does, you know, it doesn't fall down or wrinkle up when you're pulling it up and down, but it just doesn't seem comfortable to me. Like if I was a baby, I wouldn't want to be wearing this super stiff little guy on my butt all day. So I don't know, this one I'm kind of on the fence about. I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like we have better options over here. This Nicki's one is one that confuses me because there are things that I don't like about it, but overall I do like it. Like, I hate that the pocket is sideways. It's just an awkward fit. It's so low rise in the front, and then once you add in the flat in there, it's like super duper bulky. And I don't know, there's a lot of things I don't like about it, but one thing I do like is like these elastics are so gentle. They don't feel like crap, but they're not harsh at all. They're very gentle, and it's really easy for Eren to pull these up and down on his own, which is a big deal. Some of these can be a little bit stiff when you're trying to pull them up and down, which can be a big issue once kiddo is finally starting to get the hang of things and wants to go potty by themselves, right? So I like how easy they are to pull up and down, but I don't know. I just don't know what to say about it. I like it, but I don't like it. And lastly, we have the Imagine and the buttons, and I really do like the buttons, but if your kiddo is starting to get suspicious, thinking this is just like a regular diaper, I thought I was a big kid, I need to be wearing underpants, they're probably not gonna like the buttons, so I would go with the Imagine if your kiddo is kind of like suspicious about wearing all of this PUL, right? So overall, I think the buttons and the Imagine are kind of tied for my favorite. Maybe the buttons is a little bit more favorite, but I feel like they work better in different situations. Like I think buttons would work all the way from the beginning of potty training until kiddo is pretty much potty trained and you're gonna be putting them in actual underwear. Unless kiddo doesn't like that these feel and look like a diaper. If that's confusing for kiddo, these are probably not the best option for you. Now, before I tried the buttons, these Imagine ones were definitely my favorite. They don't hold a big accident, just a regular accident and a heavy accident will totally wick on the sides of these. So I do like both of these guys, but I feel like they work in kind of different situations with kind of different kiddos at different stages of the potty training, you know, spectrum or whatever you want to call it. But I feel that way about a lot of these diapers. Some of them are just better suited for, you know, the end of potty training when you're almost close to putting them into regular underpants, and some of them are better suited for your first step out of regular old cloth diapers. So I hope this video was at least a little bit helpful. I hope it wasn't too all over the place. If you want to hear more about each of these individually, I will leave those links down below in case you guys are interested. Once again, I hope this was helpful. If you did find it helpful, please give this video a thumbs up, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye!